up to the age of 30. And he said what's working really well for them by targeting that age group is that many of them will have spent years and years in formal education, being told to study hard and go on to university. They'll leave with around £50,000 worth of debt, which I'm sure you probably all know has been well publicised in terms of the fees that they have to pay now. And unless that they have achieved a first-class degree, they won't get employment in their specialist subject, or they're unlikely to get employment in their specialist field. So they'll probably end up working in the services industry or in retail. And these people tend to go through 2 or 3 different career changes from that age group of 18 to 30. And they always are looking for something else, something better to improve their situation, because what also happens is not only if they got the debt that they're trying to pay off, they are usually in rented accommodation and they're struggling to save up for their first home to get that deposit together. So they're very open to something else, another income stream, which will help them build up and save towards what's important to them and get on to the next step. So in the training, what they asked us to do is to write down a list of 10 people, or a minimum of 10 people, that you know within the 18 to 30 age range. So it could be friends or children of friends, and to make a list of those people to start phoning and inviting to opportunity presentations or arranging meetings with. Following on from that, I made my list at the training, and I've been contacting all of those. Of those that I've managed to get hold of, the 3 that were most promising, one of them came straight away from a phone call to an opportunity presentation. I phoned her the day before and she came along without hesitation, and she actually signed up and joined the business. Now, what I did say to Jo obviously later on, unfortunately, as a lot of the people you recruit do, she did cancel within the first 7 days. And I spoke to Stefan, because Stefan is my upline right at the top, and I went back to him and fed that back, and what he said was perhaps going forward is to try and invite the parents along if they're quite young, because she was only 19, still living at home. Try and get the parents to come along to the opportunity presentation, or perhaps try and sit down with the parents and show them the business at the same time, because what had happened, she'd gone back home and she'd been talked out of doing the business with the parents, and I don't think they quite understood. So that was a shame, because she was really excited. They were living at home and they were trying to save up a deposit for home. That said, the door's still open, and she said that she will look at it again in the near future. So I'll keep in touch with her, and that's just my learning curve. Make sure that if they're quite young, try and get the parents involved on that side of things. And then there's a couple more that I'm working with, who hopefully will come along and come along to some opportunity presentations in the new year. One lady I've actually invited to the Kickstart in January, because I actually joined after going to a Kickstart event, and that was something that was really an eye-opener for me, how I felt when I came away from that event, and not even being in the business, not really understanding quite what I'd witnessed. And but it just felt good, so I thought I'd give it a go. So that's the 2 other people that I'm sort of actively targeting. But so that was it really, just on that side, that feedback.
I think that's brilliant, Sarah, because I think once you do start focusing down whatever category, it just kind of narrows your mind a little bit. It doesn't make it so daunting when you're thinking about people to add to the list. Just something else has just come into my head as you're talking. I think it might be Louise Green, but I'll double check. But I think Louise has recently set up a special WhatsApp group for 18 to kind of 21-year-olds, because she's recently recruited, and to try and give them a bit of support with other peer members of that age. And I thought that was a fantastic thing. That was posted on Utility Warehouse recently. So that might be something just to throw into the mix as well, that they can have, you know, separate support, obviously apart from their mentor, but also from each other as well, because they'll probably go about the business in a different way, with a different mindset, to maybe some of us older ones, and some of us really older ones.
Yes.
But thank you, Sarah.
That's right. I think it's a fair point to make. It's just trying to touch into what's relevant to them, because I'm sitting there thinking I'm young, but really I'm still 20 years older than Emily. So it would have helped possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we are now going to hand over to Jogger, who is just going to, if Jogger's got his video working. Brilliant. Who's going to tell us a bit more about recruiting? Over to you.
Yes, hi, thank you, Jo. I'm just fixing this so you can see me on this. Thank you for inviting me onto the call, and I know you want me to focus on recruitment. Evening to everybody out there who are on the Zoom. I can see quite a few of you on there. And with it being December, it is now, December the 11th. And we're a third of the way through the month that most people think is a month where people don't want to talk or people don't want to see people. So I did a few things and checked out, and in the last 6 weeks of the year, so from the middle of November to the end of December, I was looking at people who joined. I was one of them. I joined towards the middle of November, and then I looked through and I stopped at the next one because it was interesting, because Wes Linden joined in December 20 years ago. And people think that people don't join in December, and we've got a national network leader who joined in December. So he's always said to me that one of the things is if the person speaking to him had stopped focusing on recruitment and just focused on getting the next promotion or getting another customer or just getting diary appointments for January because everyone's slowed down for Christmas, then could you imagine just missing out on 60, 70, 80,000 group customers over the next 20 years and going, well, I took the rest of December off. And one of the good things is the companies realize that December is quite a key time of year. And you'll see, I think it's tonight or tomorrow, the hot news will be out, but the news has come out that there is a new promotion, which I'll end this call with, if that's all right with Jo, and just to give you the details that I've got so far on that in terms of the promotion that has started, and it's backdated to December the 1st. So it's all about doing appointments and getting business builder points. But one of the ways you can get business builder points is by recruiting. And what Sarah said there was really, really good about focusing, because whenever you think about this business, you say, well, who can do this business? Well, anyone can do this business. Everyone can do this business. And if you're like a keen, I know Sean's on this call, and he's a great BNI networker in one of the best groups in the UK, and he knows that you're always told never to ask for anybody. Because when you say to somebody, oh, anybody can do this, can you find me anybody? Well, no one thinks of anybody. And when you actually get people to focus down, and what Sarah said there is that if you look for people who have just graduated, if you look for people who are students in their final year of university, if you look for people who are between 18 and 30, one of the things that I was going to talk about was focusing on a sector. So in December, I focus on the service sector. And what I mean by that is your coffee shops, your Starbucks, your pret-a-mangers, your pubs, your clubs, your retail sales, anywhere, shoes, anything that any of the members of our cashback card partners, their staff. That's what my focus is in December, because they're probably the busiest time of year is December, and they're all working more hours than they want to. And generally they're on minimum wage, because or they're on a 0 hours contract. And having been one of those employees on a 0 hours contract on minimum wage, working every Christmas Eve and every Boxing Day for 12 years, I tell you, everyone else was full of the season of goodwill, and I wasn't full of goodwill. It was like I put a brave face on, and I just knew that from the minute I finished on Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock till 10 a.m. on Boxing Day, that was it. I had those 36 hours off work, which if you include sleep and having a good time, there's not much time off at all. So those people there are in a prime, I find they're looking for things in December. They don't make New Year's resolution. They're coming up to like December the 1st or the last week of November, and they're going, I want to make this my last Christmas that I have to work Christmas. I want to make this the last time I'm working Boxing Day. I want to make this the last time that I've got to work New Year's Eve or cancel plans for New Year's Day or not spend. And you might find this weird if on this call, but Lorraine's a nurse, my wife, and one of the things I found was she'd worked nearly every Christmas Day for like 10 years because she had no kids. Because all the people with kids want Christmas Day off. Not everyone gets it off. It's not a given you're going to get Christmas Day off and Christmas morning off to spend with your family. We take it for granted, but firefighters, hospitals, doctors, nurses, paramedics, any of the emergency services, it's another working day. They might get paid more for it, but imagine how much would you say, well, I know you want to see your kids on Christmas Day, but if I pay you extra, are you happy to miss those smiles? You know, there's not enough money in the world to do that. And we pass up those opportunities. We go to hospitals, we go to nurses, we see doctors, we speak to people in bars and restaurants, and we just think, oh, they've given us great service, and that's it. So what I'm doing as a focus, and I put this through on my November challenge to people, is focus on the service sector and just focus with a couple of just questions of speaking to people, just everyday questions. So if you're getting served in a restaurant at the beginning, find out the server's name and say hello to them. It's amazing when you genuinely say hello to someone who's working one of those jobs. They don't normally get recognized by their boss, let alone the customers. It makes a big difference because you actually look at them in the eye and say, hi, how are you? Excellent. How's your day going? Busy. Oh, good. Well, what we're going to order, and then you go and order what you need to do. And then if you find that they're the kind of person who is quite upfront and bubbly and they're really nice, or they've got a great smile, they're very attentive, or anything like that you think is a really good skill, then compliment them. Genuinely compliment them. Find the skill. Don't just be, oh, you're really good at what you do. And they think, what? You've only just walked in. How do you know? Or we've seen you for 30 seconds. How do you know? So pick something. And you go, and then ask them, you know, do you enjoy working here? And if you're looking for that demographic between 18 and 30, I would tailor it to people that you find in that age bracket. And it's a big owl thing. And this is what I'd say is my focus would be, if you're taking one thing away from tonight, is speak to those people and say to someone, so if Joe was the server, I'd turn around and go, Joe, so, you know, do you work here full-time or part-time? And they'll tell you. Or you go, do you work here full-time or are you still studying? And what happens then, students tell you, oh, no, I'm studying at the moment and what I plan to do is this. And if it is their full-time occupation, you haven't offended them because you've actually said, are you studying? And they think, oh, no, I'm far too old to be a student. I was a student. I graduated 5 years ago, but I haven't found, and you'll hear this, I haven't found a job in the field I'm looking at, so I'm just making ends meet by working here. And what you'd be surprised is they've probably been working this for 3, 4, 5 years since they graduated. So it's really key. You just turn around, so do you work here full-time or are you still studying? And that way you don't offend anybody who doesn't fit into the studying bracket because they think, oh my God, they think I'm a student. I must look younger than I thought. And the other way, if they are a student, they'll explain to you what they really want to go on and do. And then as the conversation winds up and later on you're paying the bill or you're having a chat with someone, you go, listen, I've really enjoyed my meal tonight, or I've really enjoyed that it's been a fabulous lunch, whatever it is. I've been watching you and you're really good at what you do. Do you know that? Have you been told that enough? And let me tell you that now. In fact, let me give you my card. I'm a recruiter for a FTSE 250 company and you do fantastically well at what I do. Would it be okay if we exchanged details and we had a telephone interview? So you turn around to me and you tell them genuinely, do you know what? The way you've served us today has been fantastic. You've been so attentive. Your skills are wasted here. Do they value you here? Well, let me tell you, I'm a recruiter for a FTSE 250 company. Here's my details. Would it be okay if I took yours and we had a telephone interview to see if you keep your options open? And when you tell them you're a recruiter for a FTSE 250 company, I hope you know what 250 company that is. That's us, Utility Warehouse, and you run your own business. So you're a recruiter for your own business. And then he says to him, would it be okay if I exchange details and we have a chat over the phone, or maybe have an interview over the phone? Depending how much rapport you've built with them, they'll be very willing to do that because they would have been working hard, serving 4 or 5 tables, and you're probably the only person that's given them a genuine compliment and actually spoken to them like a human being, rather than just somebody whose wages you are paying, or someone you will leave a tip for just if they're good, rather than give them a tip just because you should do. So those are the kind of things I would focus in on. And if you're looking for that 18 to 30 bracket to add on to Sarah, they're probably working in your local restaurant, your local bar, your local coffee shop. And it's a great excuse to go out for more lunches and dates and coffees with people and prospects, because this is the time of year where most people have time off. I know a lot of people had time off today because the schools were closed, and a lot of people chilling out on Sunday because they couldn't go anywhere around here because the roads were closed. So those kind of things now in December where people start winding down. I think Wes Linder did a great video the other day. He said, let them wind down while you wind up. While you wind up your prospecting, you wind up the number of people you speak to, you wind up the number of people you call, you wind up the number of people you're going to talk to, and you wind up and build your list and start making contact with people and genuinely paying them compliments and genuinely letting them know you've got an opportunity for them. If it doesn't affect your day job, would you be happy to look at other options? Do you work here full time or are you studying? Once you've got that, you go, brilliant. I think you'd be great at what we do. You keep your options open. Have you ever looked at other ways of making money? And those lines and stuff, I know this is being recorded, you can follow. Just get good at practicing them, because you can practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. And then when it comes to details of, would you mind if we exchange details so that I can give you a call and maybe we'll have a telephone interview and have a chat? It might not be for you, but I really think this could be a benefit to you. And then you get very comfortable at saying those words like off pat. In fact, you speak to Lolly, she's been to lunch or dinner with me a few times, and she's just seen me do that again. And she just goes, I knew I'd made it when she said to me, you're just really good at that. You make it look like it's natural. And it took me years to build that up, but it does become second nature. So that would be my top tip for recruiting and focusing on recruiting. I hope that's a benefit to you. Is that okay, Joe? I just want to finish off with the promotion that's coming up. I don't know if you've got a hot news in your box now, but Saturday we had a leadership day with John Addison for all the GLs and above. We had about 230 people in the room and people from head office. There is a different change of what's going to be happening in the next, well, what we've done for 20 years has worked, but we reckon we can go faster. If we want to get to FTSE 100, we're going to need to go faster than we have in the last 20 years. So there's been a sea change, and one of those sea changes is that the company and us working together more and taking more ideas from the network. And one of them was that December can be one of those slow months, so let's have a promotion that works for everybody. So starting December the 1st until February 28th, so 90 days, 3 months, from December the 1st till February the 28th, there is a promotion for anybody and everybody. So anything you've done from the 1st of December, if you've already got some business builder points, brilliant. You've got a head start. If you haven't, doesn't matter, you didn't know about the promotion, you can now get some appointments in December. And it's 6 points, gets you £100 cash in your account to go and spend on a team building event, either a team social, a team meeting, or anything like that. There's £100 towards that. And then when you take pictures when you're on your night out or your home meeting or whatever, or team meeting, whatever you're doing, send that to head office and there'll be extra prizes for the best photos. So 6 points gets you £100. 12 points. 12 points, double that, gets you the £100 plus a weekend spa break for you and your partner. So that's 12 points, gets you a weekend spa break for you and your partner, as well as the £100 for a team social. And the top prize is for 20 points, and 20 points gets you a night in London, a really lovely hotel, and then on the boat with the utility warehouse people at the Henley Regatta. They did that last time, and it's with Andrew and Charles and the directors in London. A fantastic day out if you've not been to it before. It's a great place to be and really enjoy in the exclusivity of your own UW boats on the lake. Some fun entertainment and drink as much as you like, Prosecco, and it's a really fun day. And that's just 20 points. So you have 3 months. If you're starting now, you've got 10 weeks to go and get either 6 points for your £100 for your team social, your 12 points for your £100 and your weekend spa break for you and a partner, and then the 20 points for you and your partner to go to London, stay in a hotel, be wined and dined, and taken out on the boat and on Henley Regatta. So that's the promotion that's coming, and it's business builder points. So what's really good about that is if you've got customers who are on the fence to become distributors, you can now recruit them, and that will count as a business builder point, and therefore it's towards your new promotion. So unlike the hamper promotion where existing customers becoming distributors didn't count, on this one it does. There's no small print, there's no little terms and conditions, there's no catches. It's pretty much 6 points, 12 points, 20 points. And start that now, so you start flying December, and then you can get some people on board through recruitment who then start, and in January and February they can hit this promotion and they can walk across stage. And you want momentum in your business. When you see 2 or 3 or 4 of your new people that you recruited in December and January going across stage, buzzing in front of 4,000 people at Express Day, that's where your momentum can start. So really think of that. Think of who you can get into this promotion, get them started, get your business builder points, and then help them qualify for their own the team social, spa break, or Henley Regatta visit. So that's the promotion that started. It's up and running now, so make as many points as you can. That'll be my top tip. Back to you, Joe.
That is fantastic, Jogger. What an amazing promotion. That is one of the best runs to date, I think. I absolutely love that. That is absolutely brilliant. So I hope that's been helpful to everyone. It's certainly been helpful to me. Thank you so much to Sarah and to Jogger for those great tips, just about narrowing down your recruiting, focusing on that younger age group. And obviously Jogger knows all about the service industry, so knows that mindset already and knows how to approach people. So I will do a little roundup of Jogger's tips later and send them out to everybody. if you want to be involved in Lindsay's call on Thursday night to get some appointments in the diary, let me know if you don't already know about it. And also if you want to join the Money Challenge and be involved in that group and join us, just to give you a little bit of kind of accountability and some tips so you don't feel on your own, then again, shout. I also know that there was a WAM running, and there was a couple of spaces at the range at Thurrock this week. So if that's of interest to anybody, it's on the Team Positive Pigs Facebook page. There was a spare one going on. So thank you all so much for being on the call, and we'll be definitely running another one just before Christmas, so probably in about 10 or 11 days' time. But have a great week or two, everybody, and see you soon.